same white as everyone else, it never really hit me that I was yellow. I mean, how can a bright color such as yellow be a skin color? I look at myself, and then you, and then me. I can promise you our skin color is the same. Okay, fine. Maybe not exactly the same, but trust me, I'm not yellow. Being the only Oriental student in my elementary school was one of the toughest moments in my life and certainly life-changing. I wanted to live lives like the American people. I dreamed of living the typical American lifestyle. I didn't want to have parents that were so traditional. I wanted to have pool parties at my house and sleepovers every weekend. I didn't want to have to take math class every 5 hours and flute lessons 4 hours a week, and not be allowed sleepovers in any condition. I remember the first time I asked my mom if I could have a sleepover. 엄마, 나 sleepover 해도 돼? 안 돼. 엄마, please? 안 돼. She later gave me a lecture on how sleepovers led to pregnancy. All I wanted was to bring friends over for dinner and have a mom that handed condoms to me. I didn't really understand what my parents meant when they said they want what's best for me. It was definitely what was best for them. As I entered junior high, I was given names like whitewashed, and thankfully I was given a new fresh name, Banana. Why, you ask? Well, banana is yellow on the outside and white on the inside, and that's what people believed I was. Kind of like a Twinkie. Thinking back, not saying anything is something I regret the most. Instead of saying anything, I laughed at myself, thinking that would help make more friends. All it really did was make Asians look more weak and helpless than they already did. At one point, I didn't like how I was given names like Bob when FOB stood for fresh off the boat. I was definitely not fresh off the boat. In fact, I came to America at the age of 6 months on Korean Airlines. I didn't like that I was automatically titled Chinese before being asked my nationality. I didn't like how people automatically assumed my last name would sound like a coin dropping on the floor, like ching, ching. I didn't like that every movie I watched, Asians were portrayed as liquor store owners, or dry cleaners, or nail salon owners, or exotic Asian women massaging rich white men. I always believed that I was more American than Korean, but because of my skin color, that became automatically untrue. As I entered high school, I moved cities and entered a new high school with a large Asian population. I went from not having a single Asian friend to having all these Asian girls surround me. For the first time in my life, I felt content and comfortable in my own skin. But I was different from all these girls. I was actually the total opposite. I wasn't studying pre-calculus as a freshman. In fact, I was failing my algebra class for the second year. My 4 hobbies weren't studying, playing the flute or piano, and studying. I didn't bring orange chicken or fried rice for lunch. I preferred buying school lunch. I wasn't interested in going to medical school or law school. I was interested in theater. I wasn't planning on marrying an Asian doctor so I could make my Oma and Appa happy. I wasn't enrolled in pre-IB or all honors classes. The only honors class I had, my history class, I was failing. I was then given a new name, Asian Blonde. I felt like an Asian stuck in a white girl's body. I didn't know where I belonged. I didn't know whether I was more Asian than American or more American than Asian. I was perhaps the hyphen in between Asian and American. At the start of my junior year, my parents got separated. Getting a divorce in an Asian family was very rare. In fact, it was almost considered illegal. I didn't know what to tell my friends. because they were all Asian, they would not understand. I remember the first time I told them, so guys, my parents are getting separated. And they stared at me like they had never heard the word divorce. I wanted to hide. I didn't want to listen to all the Asian gossip. Coming to Idlewild Arts Academy was one of the most best things that happened to me. I felt like I was at home. I had American friends that liked me for who I was, and Asian friends that weren't from stereotypical perfect families. Sometimes I wonder, am I more Asian or am I more Korean? I think I'm neither. I think for now, I'm stick to being banana. Or maybe even a Twinkie.